Well, you're looking high above where we're working right now in Wrightsville, Georgia, and I'm going to be joined this month by a good friend and former student of mine, Mr. Rocky Tanner. Rocky, so good to see you. Rocky is, I appreciate you doing it. Rocky is the County Extension Coordinator and the Ag Agent down here in Johnson County, Georgia. And Rocky and I got together not too long ago to learn about a local problem. And a couple of things going on with what we're looking at here. Rocky, we're looking at a well, and specifically well casing. And Rocky, you shared with me something that's going on with this that got your attention in your formal life working in the health industry.
That's right. So with 15 years in public health, as we went out and tested and approved wells or certified wells for loan closings, I noticed that a lot of times there were issues with older wells, whether it was originally a farm well and now a home hooked to it, or just in general wells that were older and maybe not put in under code, or noticed a lot of times that the well around the well casing would be settled in.
And this is the casing right here.
This is the casing right here, and a normal residential well is usually a 4-inch well like this.
Okay.
And this casing extends down into the ground 100 foot, 200 foot, wherever it is to get to a good water source, and then the pump is down in the ground 150, 200 feet deep, just depending on the depth.
Okay.
This casing, newer ones, of course, are made out of PVC. Older ones used to be made out of iron.
Wow. Okay.
Galvanized or what they call black iron pipe. But a lot of times after it was dug and then this casing was set and the pump set down, it would settle. And then every time it rained, you would have water that followed that casing straight down to the drinking water.
So think about that. I mean, that's if fertilizer's on the ground, that's if contaminants are there, that's whatever's on the ground. That water is following this pipe down into the aquifer under the ground and into your drinking water. So, Rocky, you realized this problem. And then you thought to yourself, because of your passion for 4-H and FFA, and we love both of those coming together, you thought, how do you involve kids in this? What I'd love to do today for the folks at home, I'd love to be one of these 4-H'ers with Rocky. And Rocky, you show me the skills that you're teaching those kids to deal with this problem. So let's go there next. All right, so Rocky, I'm a 4-H'er, always have been. We've got Elizabeth and Jonathan with us today, 4-H'ers as well. We're out here pouring this concrete in and making sure this guy goes around this well casing that you were mentioning. That is a problem as that water infiltrates in. We're involved in the cement and the mixing and the pouring. What else do you got us 4-H'ers doing as we're prepping this?
All right.
Besides working our tails off. Come on.
So, well, I actually used it as a teaching moment on how to work with tools.
Yeah.
Was the original idea.
Okay.
I noticed kids didn't know the difference between maybe a ball peen hammer and a claw hammer, or how to use a shovel or a hoe, or even how to identify them.
Okay.
So I used the need that we had in the community for protecting the wells, and just used the kids and use it as a teaching tool to teach them about, I guess, how to work. I don't know if that's a correct term, teach somebody how to work.
And we call those career-ready skills, soft skills, these things that students are needing. They're not getting in school other than maybe an ag class or through 4-H, and they're getting skills not only in this manual labor, but then what about measuring off this frame, this 2x4 frame? Did they do that too?
They do. They do. Actually, they do everything but the cutting. I've not let any of them use a saw yet.
Okay.
But
all right.
But yeah, we teach them how to use a level, shovels, of course, hand tools, drills. We drill these forms in with a cordless drill.
So I want to end by talking about the difference that this is making on folks like Elizabeth and Jonathan, 4-H'ers that are out there in the community. Rocky, you've been doing this stuff, involving kids in this labor and in all these life skills. What difference? Can you share a short story of a difference that this is making on 4-H and FFA? What have you seen?
Kids aren't scared anymore. So
really?
I mean, they know that they can do things. They know that they're not afraid. They're not afraid to get dirty. They're not afraid to get their shoes dirty.
Okay.
And they're not afraid to go out on a limb and help somebody.
And you know what? That's what this is about. This is about community service to protect that water quality, pour that slab, ensure that that casing's safe, and involve extension and ag teachers all in the mix. Well worth our time for sure. Rocky, thanks so much for joining me this month. This has been such a great amount of time and such a great joy to be involved with this. Y'all know what to do. While you're online looking at ways that you can protect your water quality in your wells, hop on over to the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Check it out, see what you guys have got going on. Check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page, see what I've got going on in my world. And until next time, as we always say, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here again next month. See you.